Can you tell us how you did the sky?
The sky, yeah, actually, I used this blade quite a bit to scratch out in between the trees, and then I use this wider blade to scrape in closer, and then I use my fiberglass brush to get rid of the majority of it. The blade, you know, is better for getting into the foliage of the trees and keeping them a little more realistic looking. The fiberglass brush is much better at removing that stuff quickly, larger areas. So
and it smooths out anything. If you get like a single gouge in it, it'll smooth it out to where it's not as noticeable too.
Yeah, and this part of the picture here, this in the shade, I used this little motorized thing. No, I use my electric eraser. It puts little soft dots in there that looks like sunlight coming through the leaves. You can make bigger ones or easier ones, but it makes it soft spot. And if it's not soft enough, you can take the hand eraser and make it a little bigger, soften it a little bit more. These rocks here in the shadows and the shade, I did with an eraser, purely with an eraser, and I used that because it leaves a soft edge, and then I went back over it with the diluted ink to help push them back. I use
This is sticky eraser.
Yeah, I use an eraser a lot. You know, I really like how it leaves a soft edge that it pulls your eye into sharper edge things naturally appear more in focus, appear closer. The fuzzier edge things out of focus, your mind thinks that they're further away. Then I play on that a lot to get my depth and dimension of three-dimensional qualities of the work. So, and you can, you know, put as much diluted ink in there to push those rocks back to you if you want. That helps as well. And you can, like this, I'll be probably adding some color to it. It'll be a darker color, darker red, or something to push them back. The water, somebody was asking about the water. I use my electric eraser. I use these little this little bit that I like this. I use that a lot to bring whites out. Just like the trees, you can put really water shoot splatters and stuff with it. If you don't like it, mess it up, you can re-ink it or go back with an eraser and soften it. And I just bring that stuff. This electric eraser, I'll use some diluted ink, either a black diluted or blue, ultramarine blue or something like that, or purple, to give the eraser something to work with. You can play with this and get it as splashy as you want. I use this thing here to put some of these lines in with these real fine ones. You can use a blade. You can use those needles. You can start them off with that thing and then kind of fill them in with the eraser. The electric eraser will usually bring all that white out. If you use a handheld one, you can control how much of your ink you're removing. So if you want it to look more in shadow, or you're wanting it to look where the water is a little thinner, not quite turbulent like it is where it's hitting this rock here, the eraser, you can control it and put the streaks in there, or however it's flowing. It's breaking off of this one rock over here, and it would be, pretty white. I go back in with my electric eraser. To get out, to bring out the main kind of whites, and then I can drag them out with my hand, kind of smooth it. If you want some really hard whites in there, you can go to one of your bigger blades. Anything to add a little turbulence to it. You can take like this tool here and drag in some lines or etch in some with a needle and put some blue on it. If you cut them in fairly deep, the pigment of the inks and stuff will settle in there. And if you put it on there and then kind of wipe it off, rub it off, a lot of the ink will stay in those lines. It won't come off, but it will off the surface. And that adds a little bit of different look to the water. A little bit if you're colorizing. So anyway, that's you can work this water as much as you want. But those are the tools that I use to. Yeah, it seems to work. The water seems to work the best if you use a variety of tools to look instead of just one tool. I really don't know. I'm really not real good at the slower water, the calmer stuff, but faster water, is just mainly getting some turbulent looking action in it, and using an eraser or whatever tool you can find to break it up.
That electric eraser, I picked up one at like Office Max or Home Depot. I got a cheap one for like $10 and it works.
I bought this several years ago. It's a Satura. It's a nice electric eraser. And when I bought this, I was doing a lot of pencil drawings, and I wanted it to texture my pencil drawings. And it's great, but it was the only one available at the time that I could find. It was $40. You can get the same thing at Hobby Lobby now, $10.
That's what I have.
And I was in St. Louis in an art shop here a couple months ago, and I saw one of these hanging on the wall, and they wanted $60 for it. I think it was just them.
Do you find it much better than the other one?
No, there's not a lot of difference.
It's a vinyl eraser, I believe, right?
The only